it comes up, and in this case it's blank. If it wasn't blank, we could go ahead and delete all the features that were in this blue area right here. We are currently pointed, have a letter size paper that we are going to be using, and then we have a plot template. We have different plot templates. We're going to make adjustments to, well, we just brought up, by selecting our plot template 1, we brought up a template which has already been built for us, but I'm going to go ahead and delete all the functions in there. And we're going to start off by creating a portrait view of a vertical view. And I'm going to add my vertical view, and you can see that it comes in and it has some sizes that are already have been determined or recorded. And it's not quite big enough for me, so I decide that I want to make it a little bit wider. And if you notice in this vertical section plot, I have a bunch of controls in here, and I'll show what each one of them does. These are fairly self-explanatory. I can show the minor grid, that turns that off. Show the major minor grid, that turns that off. Show the major grid, that turns that off. And I can put a frame around the whole plot, and that turns that off. By turning them all on, we can see what they do. The colors are associated with these buttons here. If I wanted to change a button color or a color, I could change that to green, and it comes back and it makes a nice green color in there. I'll go back to the light gray that it was, but I can change the colors of any of those lines in there. This control right here has to do with the anchor space where I can have it. If I want it in the middle there, or if I want to have it over to the right, I want to have it in the middle here, I want to have it down, all around, or in the middle. The middle is a little bit messed up because it's putting it on the left hand side, but we can adjust that with Inkscape. If I want to adjust the width of it, I can adjust it here by adjusting the width, and I can adjust it that way. Or if I want it to be the width of the whole page, I can just hit this button right here and it makes it the width of the whole page. So I want it the width of the whole page, and I want it anchored down at the bottom, I could hit this. If I want it anchored at the top, I can do that. If I want to make it so that the height of it changes, again, I can say I want it to be 6 inches long, and I can do that, and it makes it 6 inches long. Or I can make it the height of the entire page, so that now the entire page is dedicated to this single plot. I have this auto calculation turned on, which means that the program is calculating the best way to fit it into the space that I've given it. I can turn this off, and I can adjust the number of ticks per division. If I go to 1,000, then you can see that it is gone ahead and given to me a different plot. And I can put in the vertical section view that I want. In this case, I want 34 degrees. And then the vertical section is where it starts, and 1,000, if I want to change that to 1,000, it brings it over to the left. And if I want my start TVD to be at 4,000 feet, then I can put 4,000 in here, and then I have a plot which is set up for the way I might want to look at it. Now I can change the vertical section. I can change to 500 divisions per tick, and you can see that it's down here. Now this is all by default set to 1 inch per division, but if I want to change that, in this case I might say I want to have this kind of view here. I can do that by just sliding this down here on this inner scale a little bit until I can get everything in there. And all that does is it changes that internal thing, so no longer I'm operating at 1 inch, and that often is not important. So this is a useful way of getting it. If I wanted to change the overall scale of it, I can move this down and it makes it smaller or larger, and I have a lot more gradations here than I do in the other. But it is useful for sizing up basic templates that I might want to use so that I can do a quick plot with.